Hi and welcome, I'm Egla and this is a safe space for positivity and growth. Today we're doing something different. I'm going to be doing my makeup as we do a Q&A self-reflection on self-love. It is going to be very spontaneous and exciting, so let's get into the video. I'll start off with a disclaimer that I'm a beginner, so please don't judge. I'm starting off with a primer, and as I do that, we can just start with the first question, which is, what does it mean to love yourself? That question is really beautiful because when you asked that, you could be thinking, me loving myself means that I'm setting boundaries. Someone else can say that me loving myself means that I'm spoiling myself, I'm going out and doing all the beautiful things with my life. Someone else can say protecting their peace. Your answers are all right. Yes, loving yourself could be that because it makes you happy. But again, you need to also understand that loving yourselves means accepting who you are with your weaknesses or without. Every part of you that you have, be it your physical features or everything that's tied to you emotionally or on your personality. So it's literally accepting all that, setting your boundaries, accepting peace, all those answers that you might have in your head right now. They all contribute to loving yourself because it means that you're doing positive things to yourself in your life and you're not actually harming yourself. Next step is my Super Stay foundation. So I usually just put it on my face and then I wrap it with my hands, but I don't want to go up and clean up. So I am going to be using my beauty sponge and I hope it actually will work. Otherwise, I'm going to be creating a mess. Self-love is important because you're identifying with yourself. You're trying to figure out, more things about yourself, what it is that you love, what it is that makes you happy. And in the end, it helps you discover so much about you and you get this sense of self-love, self-trust. You end up filling your own cup and you won't feel the need to justify how you are because you do feel happy with who you are and it makes you get to a really happy place once you do that. The next question is, how can I practice self-love in my life? There are endless possibilities to this. You could do positive affirmations. I truly feel like that's a really nice point because you're able to affirm yourself for who you are and you say nice things to yourself. And that contributes to you loving yourself because if you don't love yourself, then what you're going to say is purely hateful words out of spite. And I truly love using this example of saying, if you had a friend who is probably in distress, you would not tell them hurtful words. You tell them some things to encourage themselves, right? And so it goes a long way with you. Do you say things that encourage you or are you just putting yourself down? That's something that you need to remember when it comes to you loving yourself. You need to tell yourself positive things and you need to love yourself and treat yourself as good as you would treat your friends. I'm honestly so shocked that I've used a beauty sponge and it's blending really well. I told you I usually use my fingers to rub everything down. I'm really impressed by what is happening right now. We're done. You also need to embrace self-reflection. I love that point because so many times I try to sit down and ask myself so many questions about, it could be the kind of mood that you're in. I do have a mood board and I think I can share it with you how I actually make it. And I ask myself, what is my mood today? And then when I write it down, I ask myself, why exactly do I think I'm having that kind of mood today? Let's say that I am fearful today. It's something that is actually making me fear. And I'll go down and write down, yes, I'm feeling fearful, but why exactly am I feeling this way? I write down some possibilities and also try to mend it and understand, okay, this is why I feel this way. And then I ask myself, can I solve this? When you do a lot of self-reflection in your life, it's easier for you to understand why some feelings are there, where these feelings are coming from, because you're constantly asking yourself so many questions. If you don't self-reflect, it's so hard for you to actually find the root cause of some things. You might find yourself in a situation where you're anxious, and when you ask yourself what is the root cause of this, it's going to be very hard for you to go back to those steps because you clearly even don't remember when it started in the first place. So I love doing self-reflection because I'm able to actually understand why I'm behaving in a certain manner or why are some things happening. So I like blending out different shades of concealer. That way, if it's either too dark or either too light, it's just going to blend in the long run and it gives you this nice feel. Again, please don't take any of my tips because I'm still a beginner. So I'm usually seeing a lot of makeup videos and I try to integrate all those tips that I'm learning into one. And it might bring some confusion, but yeah. So I'm putting on some setting spray so that my sponge isn't dry. Yes. Self-love also means being grateful. You express gratitude in the situations that you're in. I feel like I've talked about that in my other video, but yes, expressing gratitude is really going to help you in so many situations because you are going to be happy with what you have. And you're actually even going to acknowledge what you bring into the world. Sometimes when we don't express gratitude, we also don't express gratitude to ourselves. When I'm saying express gratitude, I don't just mean that you're saying, okay, I'm thankful that my friend did this, or I'm grateful that this has happened. You also ought to be grateful for yourself. What have you done to yourself? It could be that this year you saved some money that you're going to be using to start your business next year. Be grateful for yourself for doing that. If you overcame something that you have been struggling with, thank yourself for that. And once you do this, you'll be able to be so grateful for so many things in your life. And it's not just going to come from within, but you're also going to be grateful at that center level from yourself, and also for what other things are happening in your life, like external factors, could be your friends or family. You are going to be able to be grateful for every single thing that's happening. Have positive self-talk. We did talk about affirming yourself, but again, you also need to be talking to yourself, and you can do this by journaling, where you write down your emotions, your feelings, and you tell yourself some positive things. And I think I covered that when we talked about affirmations. Again, you can also practice self-love by taking yourself out, doing things that are outside your comfort zone that bring you happiness. You have been wanting to take yourself on a solo trip, do it. You have wanted to take yourself out on a date, and I do understand that sometimes it's hard to go to a restaurant alone. You sit alone and you just eat alone, and you're wondering, when I go to a restaurant, I'm usually with a friend and we chat, but sometimes it's really great to do that for yourself. Take yourself out, enjoy those meals that you love, and talk to yourself. I don't just mean like I mean, when I say talk to yourself, is you're trying to understand yourself. You're trying to understand what is inside you, and that way you can also do the self-reflection that we talked about. I think that's fine for my concealer. We can go on to the next step as I do my eyes. Yeah. What are the benefits of loving yourself? That's a really nice thing. You're probably asking, okay, you're telling me to love myself, you're telling me to do all these things that exude self-love, but what are the benefits? You doing this is going to boost your self-esteem by far. Do you know the power of you loving yourself? You have probably heard this thing of saying that you can't love someone if they don't love themselves first. And that's because, you know, how can you prove that I also should love you? And you loving yourself means you accept every single part of you, and you're working on yourself to become the best version of yourself. And by this, you will be able to be very confident in your own skin. How you look, your structure, how you act, you're really going to be very okay with who you are, and it's never going to pull you down where you actually think that, what if I'm not enough? Because you already love yourself, you already feel like you're enough. And so it's really going to boost your self-esteem for sure. It is also going to help you with your relationship with others, because you're going to maintain very healthy relationships, as you will already have a very positive outlook on life. What you see is positive, you love yourself, and you also will learn how to love others, because you will feel like, you know, I should also treat them in a nice way like I treat myself. And that way you'll be able to actually understand how you should treat other people, and you're going to ultimately maintain healthier relationships because you're looking at it on a positive scale. Again, it's also going to help you in your decision making, because you're in the right mind, you're in the right spirit, and when you're making your decisions, you're always going to look out for yourself, because you're going to be seeing, is this decision healthy in the long run? Is it going to help me? Is it going to help build me or break me? And so you're actually going to be more conscious in whatever you're doing. So when I'm doing my eyeshadow, I usually put tape, but today I'm not doing that. So I do hope it's going to look nice and it's going to balance. Yeah, I do hope so. Let me take my mirror very close to me so that I can be able to see this as we continue to the next step. you are also going to feel inspired, because like I mentioned, you're looking out for yourself already by you loving yourself and by you looking for ways on how you can actually improve yourself so that you can actually get a positive life and a positive mindset. So you're really going to be empowered to just do so many things that you want in your life. It could be your dream to start your business, it could be a dream to do something better. You are going to become your own cheerleader, and that's what happens, because sometimes people tell you about your abilities and you're like, you really see that in me, and you don't see it in yourself. But the moment you're open to you loving yourself, once they tell you, you're going to be like, yes, you are right. I can become the best that I can be. It could be on the kind of career that I want to get into. Yes, I'm perfect for that, and I can actually do it. By you doing that, you are also validating yourself, and that's something really beautiful. I just realized I didn't carry all of my supplies, so I'm not going to have mascara. I'm just going to use this. Hopefully my brows are going to look good. I've put some gel on it, so I hope my lashes actually look great afterwards. I bought this powder, it's setting powder, but when I set it, it doesn't look like how I see it when I'm seeing the tutorials. Let me show you. Yeah, let's just go ahead with this as we go on to the next point of what we are talking about. Now, the next step on your self-care journey is self-awareness. You need to understand your emotions. You need to understand what is it that you want in your life. When we say awareness, you're probably trying to put some awareness on some sort of topic. You also need to do some awareness on yourself. You need to understand, are there things that I'm shutting down in my life that, the thoughts are there, I have so many thoughts on this, am I shutting them down? And once you're able to actually understand your beliefs, your needs, what is it that you do want, you will be able to ultimately understand what is it that I need for me to love myself more. I love using blush, and I don't have blush, so I just use this palette from Maybelline. Yeah, this is the palette that I use. I just look for this shade that looks a bit pinkish. Is it pink or maroon? Wait, which color is this? I think it's maroon. So I use this one over here, and I usually just use these two most of the time. This one broke, but this one actually brings a really subtle pink when I put it on my cheeks. So this is the one that I use. As you continue, a really nice point that I also tell myself is forgiving yourself. For you to love yourself, for you to actually get into that space where you can say, I am practicing self-love, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself for all the times that you've probably neglected yourself, the times you have not done what you expected yourself to do, for all the mistakes that you have done in your life. You need to be able to forgive yourself. I know it looks really ridiculous right now, but I will solve this with my mediocre skills, but yeah, we'll fix this. But you need to be able to forgive yourself for all those times that you have not been the best person for yourself, for that time that you've not become your best friend, for all those mistakes that you've done and you end up thinking about probably in the middle of the night. You're watching a movie, you're in bed, and you're like, oh my, I did this. How many times will you keep pushing yourself? Okay, you did that, and so what do you expect to happen? By you repeating all those things to yourself, you're going to create a pattern where you're going to be saying things to yourself like, I shouldn't forgive myself, or I've done this, so it means that I'm the worst person in the world. But you need to forgive yourself all those times that you've neglected yourself, because you are going to be able to, jump back up once you're able to forgive yourself and actually look for steps on how to better your life and become this great person that you've always wanted to be. So now that I've put on that blush, the next point is this MAC, what is this? This MAC powder. So this is pressed powder. I have pressed powder and I have setting powder. I use the setting powder as the first one, and then I go on with this pressed powder because it gives me this matte look and I don't end up sweating the whole day. So I usually put this in my bag so that when I feel like it's too hot and I'm actually starting to sweat, I just pick this, dab it on my cheeks, dab it on my forehead, and I'm back to normal. So I really love this pressed powder, and I'm going to put it over my blush so that it covers that really dark pink, so that it's a bit subtle and I'm not looking truly pink. So now that is done, I also put some on my forehead. because I have a combination skin, but my T-zone area is usually very oily, so I usually have to put some pressed powder there so that it mattifies it a little bit. So I'm going to also go do this so that that blush can blend out. Yeah, I think I can go to the next step. Surrounding yourself with positivity. Also, on this journey to self-love, you need to align yourself with things that are going to be in line with your journey. If you're trying to get a positive outlook in life, you need to start reading things that have a positive outlook in life. You also need to find friends that have a positive outlook in life. That way, it's going to be very easy for you to go on this journey that you want. So forgive me, please. I want to mention that I bought this gloss. I love this. So it doesn't have a shade. It's just the normal one, number 1, called Pearl. And since it doesn't have any tint on my lips, I try using lip liner to I'll show you what I do. So I'm going to put a little bit of lip liner like this on different corners of my lips, like that. I hope you can see what's happening. Yes, like that. I'm going to go on this side, this side, this side. I'm going to touch the areas that weren't touched by the lip liner so that I don't end up making this pink. Now you can see that cut light tint. So the next point is being patient with yourself. Your self journey is really different with everyone's self-love journey, and you need to be patient with yourself. If there are some things that you want like change in your life and they aren't happening as quick as you want them to, it's okay, because your journey is different from everyone else's journey, and you just shouldn't be hard on yourself. From that point, just be kind to yourself. If things aren't working out, do not try to discourage yourself, because by that you're going to just be ruining the kind of progress that you've made. But if again you slide back down and you feel like you're neglecting yourself, it's okay. You're going to be able to just pick yourself back. Just remember all those things that you said for yourself in your self-love journey. You told yourself that you want to become a better version of yourself. You want to become more aware of your feelings and your needs. So if you just go back and you neglect yourself, remember those things that you wanted in the long run, and you'll be able to actually get back to become the kind of person that you want. I am genuinely happy with the results. And then I can just end by saying your self-love journey is your journey. It is unique, it is powerful, and I cannot wait for all that you are going to do, because it's an incredible journey. You actually getting to understand what is it that I love about myself, what is it that I need to actually expound on my journey. Is it that I have this kind of talent? How can I perfect it? And you'll be able to just have so much undying love for yourself that you'll be able to actually just push it on to others. By you loving yourself, it's going to be very easy for you to love your neighbor. It's going to be very easy for you to love someone else. It's going to be easy for you to actually care for them. So trust me, you really need to actually work on yourself. What is it you feel that you can expound on when it comes to your self-love journey? Kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel in case you'd like more videos like this. And if you have any idea of the kind of video you want me to do next time, you can comment on the section. Thank you guys so much.